I hope you all are enjoying this special series of the How to Write a Book podcast in National Novel Writing Month. Now, just to give you a little bit of a reminder, we are dropping a special episode every single day in the month of November about how to write books with special guest authors. And, I was recording these and I just felt so lifted. Honestly, I think my mind shifted. Like during this process, I thought I was like, okay, yeah, I just need to work on this, to work on that. And my whole mind shifted. And I feel like if it's doing that for me, oh my goodness, I'm hoping that's doing that for you too, All right, let's dive into About Joy W. I thought she was so cool. I have never cried. No one's ever made me cry on this show before. So very inspirational. Loved how she approached her books. She also has other businesses. But I think what was the most special thing about Joy W was that once it clicked for her, right? It was the light bulb that just kept getting brighter and brighter. She wanted to keep going. And I want that for you too. All right. So I'm excited to share this with you. And let's dive in.
Welcome to the How to Write a Book podcast, the show that helps you plan, write, and publish your book, even if you're a beginner or just feel like one. Now, for your host, she's written over a dozen books and helps others bring their books to life. Here she is, Maciel.
Hey there, writers. Let's take a beat to talk about a special announcement. So November is your month of transformation. Get a 1-hour coaching session with me by choosing one of these 3 options, or all 3. Option 1, join our Patreon for $1, which will support the show. Option 2, book a $1 coaching session on coach.me. Option 3, leave an Apple Podcasts review. Send a screenshot to my email and get a coaching spot. You can do all 3 and get 3 hours of coaching with me. Find all the links in the show notes. Act fast. This offer is only valid for November to celebrate National Novel Writing Month. Thanks. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the How to Write a Book podcast. In today's episode, we have a special author, Joy W., prolific author of Quotes That Say Oh, From Instagram to Your Hand. Welcome, Joy. Welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be here, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about all of these quotes, and then also if you have questions or anything like that in the future, definitely reach out to us and definitely be love to answer them, and love for you to support on all the other avenues that we have. So definitely it's a pleasure being here.
Oh, great. And you are, well, first of all, prolific because you have like at least 5 books, but then you also have another business. So you know what? Tell us about yourself. Like, who is Joy? What do you do?
Okay, well, guys, just so you know, I am a regular person just like you all, and I allow God, my maker, creator, whatever you believe it to be for yourself, to actually take reign and take control over my life. And it has led me from the path of starting a business and then also turning into putting some of my words, some of my inspirations, some of my pains into books. So in a small nutshell, that is who I am. I'm from New Jersey, and basically I'll tell you a little bit about how I started this journey. So I used to manage a Christian rap artist, and when you are managing someone, you have to take the reins and learn how to do things if you don't already know it. And if there's not necessarily a budget, you become the budget, right? So a long time ago, I learned how to copyright. Backtrack. Once the contract ended and we went our separate ways, I had already known how to start a business. I had known how to copyright, and I was an avid gym goer. So it was burning on my soul to write on Facebook that, I love to snack extremely snack after going to the gym. And I'm telling you guys, words are powerful, because one of my family members said, you should make that a shirt. And you have to be careful, because I took that as, okay. I made the shirt, work hard, snack harder. Mm-hmm. And then I said, you know what? I know how to start businesses. I don't know anything about clothing, but here's the clincher. I was driving home one day from an event. It was dead winter, like nighttime. And for the first time in my life, I saw somebody, this is us standing straight up. They were backwards, right? The back of their head was basically to their calf. I had never seen anything like that. And while they were doing that, their body was just swaying. I've never seen that. We may see that on TV, but to actually see that in real life, I turned the corner, and as I was, feeling real empathetic about it, something said, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, naturally, none of us would stop and try to help, because you just can't. But again, words are so powerful. So the t-shirt, Addiction Kills the Family, was birthed from that experience. So if you get anything out of our conversation, just be encouraged to know that everything that happens around you, to you, can be for the greater good of someone else. Because I had to experience that, the amount of people who are in recovery that see that shirt and that, strings a reminder to keep pushing. If I didn't experience that, and I didn't take action after God, I believe my God, told me to do something about it, you wouldn't see me here today. We wouldn't be having this conversation. There wouldn't be these books. But to ignite all of that, you have to be willing to take the step. No matter where you think the direction's supposed to go, just go, and you'll be guided and you'll flow. So, that's a little bit about me.
I love that. I love the energy that you're bringing. It's beautiful, because it's exactly like one of the biggest messages we have at the How to Write a Book podcast, which is words are powerful. Your words are powerful. Your stories matter. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I believe that I am adamant. I'm speaking from experiences, not just like me making things up. We are creatures of absorption. So the very things that we see, hear, taste, touch are the things that create our reality. So be careful what you allow in your soul, because that will be basically who you become. I also stopped watching TV, because for me, it was a distraction from getting me to where I am now. Mm-hmm. Now, for you, it could be something different. You may be able to watch TV and it doesn't distract you. But I went ahead. I stopped watching TV. I stopped listening to music. And I tell you, those were two of the biggest sacrifices that I had made in my life. And again, if I didn't willingly make that sacrifice, you wouldn't see me here. Mm-hmm. I would still be distracted. I would still be doing the everyday, come home, be like this program, and not being and doing my purpose. And then you ever wonder why your life is an empty shell? And it's not to say anything bad about anybody, but it's like we all feel like empty shells at one point in time. But if you don't do anything about recognizing I do have an empty shell, how can I improve? You will never be able to really, really, really understand the true nature of what your purpose was supposed to be. I'm going to say this real quick too. I believe we're all pieces of puzzles. Sometimes we try to fit in parts of the puzzle that we don't belong in. Then other parts, if we naturally let the puzzle person put us right where we're supposed to be, it can't be nothing but smoothness. Now, we're going to have bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, you understand and know what at the end of the tunnel looks like. So I encourage you just to keep pushing, Get to know who you are. Let God, your maker, creator, whoever you believe in, actually lead you to the destiny that you're supposed to live so you can have a fulfilled life.
Wow. Yes. 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 I love that. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, drop the mic. That was perfect. Yeah. Boom. How did I even follow up with some questions? Some of my questions. Well, we're going to revolve around. Okay. So you're going through this process. You feel like, okay, there's the puzzle piece that you're fitting into. Did that happen before you started writing your books? Was it during that process?
I'll tell you how it started. It was the t-shirts, then the onesies, then the podcast, and then the books. Right? So, and it all happened naturally. It wasn't planned. I tell you this too, like, I could see myself doing the t-shirts and starting businesses and stuff, but to actually write something that people would enjoy and read over and over, like, I'm telling you, it was one day I was at a pop-up and it was this book right here. So, a family came to the table and she just flipped it open. My book has no page numbers because the idea is if you're talking about affirmations and manifestation or whatever, when you open up, it leads you to what you need to read that day. So the person happened to open it up to a quote, and I had never experienced this before. She started crying. I was like, I'm sorry. But at the same time, it wasn't a bad thing. And then she showed the people that were next to her, that were with her, the quote, and they were like, yeah, that's you. You really have to get the book. I wrote this book a year prior to meeting that woman. Imagine if whatever she read that didn't happen to me or around me, and I didn't write it down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That gives you chills.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's powerful. And it's so true. It's so true because, you have a message, right? And people who are holding it inside or maybe they write it, but they don't know how to market it or, they don't want to share it with somebody, but really, like, you don't know who it can be absorbed by, who can it affect and impact.
Yeah. Another cool thing, like, if you guys ever decide you want to be an author, just do it. Like, I'm not your traditional author. Like, I didn't go to school to be an author. I've never edited a book and I didn't edit it, but, I just took the chance. And the reason why the covers are called, quotes that make you say, from Instagram to your hands, I literally was trying to grow my Instagram channel, right? And I ran into an influencer and he said at the time it was 2 photos and 1 quote. And I was like, I don't want to use other people's quotes because I don't want to get sued. Mm-hmm. And so I said, fine, I just got to do it myself. So for an entire year, 3 times a day, I was posting quotes, had no idea that eventually they would turn into pages. I just was writing it. I was just doing it until one day, again, I was at my hair salon and we were watching this show called Queen Sugar. That's the only time I really watch TV is if I'm somewhere else, right? And the woman was like, more African American women need to write so that the younger girls know that there's something outside of just music and dance. And I was like, I'm not an author. I took that seriously. I took that to heart. I was like, I'm not an author in my head, right? And then when I left, I was like, look, you ain't going to challenge me and think that you're going to get away with it and I'm going to do something about it, right? But I was like, I'm not writing no novel. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't know how to write a novel. But then I was like, dang, girl, take the quotes that you've been writing for a year. They are all original. And it's so quick and easy. You already know how to copyright. You already know what to do to copyright. You don't need anybody to you don't need publishing. It helps if you do get publishers, but at the end of the day, there's still things you have to do. So just do it yourself. If you have no resources outside of yourself, just do it yourself. It's very simple. And you have it for yourself. It's yours. And the cool thing is, y'all, you know, when you copyright, sometimes it could take a year or two. My stuff came back in 6 months.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That was fast. Why was that?
Because it's original.
Oh, cool. So like, oh yeah, there's like nothing else out there like this. Like, all right, there you go.
Crazy. And I attribute all of that to being used by God, my ancestors, my creator, whatever y'all want to say for it. I know what I say for it, but there are times when even when I read, I'm like, oh, that's a good quote. And I was like, I wrote that. And I was like, yeah, girl, you wrote it. And I was like, no, that was speaking through me.
Yeah. Dang. No, that's amazing. So, okay. So you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my quotes up there. Was there ever a time during that where you were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should go to like a publisher. Maybe I should do, that self-doubt. Did that hit you?
Yeah, I was nervous about writing some of these quotes because if you want, I can read some of them too. But I was nervous because some of them were like more than thought provoking. It was more so like a challenge, and also like it kind of, challenged sometimes a little bit of political things underneath, And then it's also like, do you think they're going to know that I was talking about myself? So it's just, those things make you very nervous. And then also like, are they going to understand? Like, do I have any spelling errors? Even though you get your stuff edited, like, but I'm telling you, just the first year, and even now, it's just like, I'm an author. Wow. Who would have thunk it?
I love that. Yes. Okay. Do you feel like you're different? There's pre-author joy and there's post-author joy. Does that exist for you?
I just feel like I'm living and doing my purpose. And I'm thankful that I'm worthy enough to be used to help humanity. And if my heart wasn't for humanity, none of this would be here. And I'm not saying like because I love humanity, it's because I've humbled myself and I've gotten to know myself so much more, and I've experienced a few things that I just absolutely feel like our humanity is on the up and up, but not enough people believe that. And the people who believe that, we need to band together more and show. And this is why I do what I do, because there's a world of hurt. And for all of us who don't hurt as much, we should be there to be the Band-Aid to help others, Yeah.
Oh, make me cry. Oh my gosh. I've never cried. I haven't cried with a guest.
Are you serious? Oh no.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. That is so powerful.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like that lady. like, oh my gosh. You also said, oh my gosh, yeah, let's be a Band-Aid to the world. But also you said, I'm grateful to be used by the creator. I have never thought about it that way.
We're all used. Even yourself, like the amount of people who come across your platform, whether they're established authors or brand new, you are absolutely giving other people a glimpse of this person, their reality, why they did what they did. And it helps. It helps those who, may want to become an author. You just don't know. Like I said, we have to start using our words purposefully. And in my little podcast that I used to do daily, right? So it was called Hello World. You can find episodes on YouTube, okay?
Love that.
I started the YouTube because, actually I started the podcast because I wanted to get monetized on YouTube. And you had to meet a certain 1,000 hours or 1,000 hours or something like that, or 5,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers, right? And the fastest way to do that was going live. And I was like, I don't like being on camera. But as soon as I started talking and people were like, eventually, you know, it was small, then people like, you know, that was inspiring. I was like, for real? And then once I let go of me, I swear to you, sometimes the things that were coming out of my mouth, even I was hearing like, oh, that's good. And it was touching me. That's why I said, you know, I humbled myself enough to be used. And whoever was inspired, whether they tell me or not, that is none of my concern. That's not my business. Just do what you're supposed to do. Because maybe it did help somebody. And even if they don't run back and tell you, we don't need the glory. We just need to be there. No? So that's basically how Hello World came about. And I say that to say it took me 3 years to get to 1,000 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And it was going live 7 days a week. That's how I got to it so fast. So if you put your mind to things, you could do it. And this is how some of those quotes came from those lives. Cause, you know, something hit me. I'm like, ooh, this is a quote. And I'm like, don't y'all steal it. Somebody write it down, text me later. And that's how some quotes came. This is a quote, you know,
nice.
High vibrations only. It came from one of these books. So, it's just a blessing. I say live your life for humanity and you will understand how blessed you are and how wherever you are in life, whether you believe it's where you're supposed to be, maybe not, but get somewhere different and be the difference. Stop worrying about yourself. I was just, you know, meditating this morning and I still read the Bible and the verse was saying, don't worry about what you will eat, what you wear, your body, but I took it as if you are living your life as peaceful as possible and you are allowing God, your creator or maker, to use you, they're going to carry you through. Will there be tough times? Yes, because our bodies are frail. But at the end of the day, how you go through those tough times may not be as detrimental as if you didn't have a rock, if you didn't have something that you could lean on outside of yourself, you know? And the still moments where you feel like nobody understands you, that little peace will come and it's the peace that passes all understanding, you know? So I don't know. That's just speaking from experience, you know, and it's just like that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's hilarious. I don't know when I pressed that button. That's so weird. I was asking, have you always been at this high frequency or did it take you, like a journey to get through this?
It's a journey. Again, it ultimately started by turning the TV off. It just hit me one day. It was like, you know, you're sitting here, you run home and you end up watching, at the time I was watching VH1 and it was series after series. From 8 o'clock, it had me in a clutch from 8 o'clock all the way to 11 o'clock at night. I spent 4 hours, almost 4 or 5 hours watching reality shows. And that was not what I was supposed to be doing. So when I turned that off, it kind of leaves you with you with you. And I started looking at the mirror. And when you literally look in the mirror and not at your physical feature, you will actually see what it is, who you really are. And I've always said this, if you can't look at yourself for more than 5 minutes, then there's something you got to work on. And at the time, I couldn't look at myself. So I said, okay, let me start listening to some YouTube meditation stuff. And then eventually I started going live. For the first time in my life, I had seen somebody live. I didn't know YouTube had lives. I didn't know people would go on live and have people in chats and stuff. All that was brand new to me. But if I didn't turn the TV off, I would never have known that. And if I had never known that, I would not have had Hello World. If I didn't have Hello World, I wouldn't have some of these quotes. If I didn't have Hello World, I would not have reached a goal that I didn't think was able to be attained. If I didn't have that, I would not have met so many other people across the country in different parts of the world. You know what I mean? So like, just take a chance and get to know who you are. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have the high frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know what love is. I wouldn't completely understand nature. Do you know how important nature is? I mean, I know I'm going off topic, but nature has sustained us. And if we would put a little bit more respect to nature, there's beauty without having electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever seen a blade of grass blow, like move on its own without any wind? Like it literally happens.
I didn't know that. Is it like the ground is really?
The blades of grass. Like I sat there one day, I was at the park grounding myself, and I sat there and I looked, I was like, oh snap, that thing just went like this. It's living.
It's alive, yeah.
And that's the only thing that can live and die. But yet we stay dead. So why don't we pay respects to the thing that helps us be birthed and the thing that turns us into it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is. I didn't know that. And you're right. That's so important. That's so important to go see nature, to go be with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. That is so true. That is so true. Because you know what? I never noticed that. But the times where like I'm like depressed, you know, versus the times that I'm like, okay, yeah, God's got me. It is hard for me to look in the mirror during those hard parts. And I'm just now putting that together, you know, because you're just like, oh,
look at your surroundings too. Like another thing I tell people, like, okay, look at your bedroom, look at your bathroom. Is it in disarray or is it neat? If it's in disarray, then that's a sign that something is not going right in your life. And if you just start organizing your space, oh my goodness, all of that clutter in your here, it goes away. So like when I notice, like I have an island, and when I notice that my island is filled with stuff, I'm like, girl, you better clean that off. What's wrong with you? You become more aware of your surroundings and who you are around, who is attracted to you, who you attract to, you know, so all those things you just pay more close attention to.
So true. My mom and my grandmother, you know, said this for decades, that the tidiness of your room was reflective of your mind, you know. And it's so true. It's so true because, you know, when you look around and you're like, oh, I have a pile here, I have a pile there, you tend to feel the most chaotic. There's a lot going on, right? But when you like organize and question, do I need this? Can I give this away? I'll put this over here. You feel like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna relax.
Yeah. And you see, guys, she agrees because she's seen it, she's done it. So like, look around yourselves, look around who you are. And when you see that there's chaos in your living environment, think about externally, like at work, how are things at work? In your relationships, how are things with you communicating with people? And that will tell you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I love that. And now I wanted to switch topics a little bit here. Going back to your book, you mentioned, well, it's that you're self-published, right? Which I love because that's when you get to do whatever you want to do with your book because it's your book and you get to push the process. What was your process like? You know, how did you start? You know, we have the quotes from Instagram, and what did you do from there all the way until you hit print?
So basically, I didn't know what to do. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it into a document. So all of my quotes were in my cell phone, right? Because I would just go from quote to quote and type it in. By the time I was done my first book, look at how thick this is. It's like on both sides. There's like 200 quotes in here. It's crazy. And then, so I printed them out. I typed them up, and then I started to research, well, how do I put this in paperback form? And then I found it on KDP, and they formatted it for you, and you just pick what kind of cover you want. All of my covers, I actually made this cover myself. I made this cover myself, and it's so deep. Basically, this is supposed to be a mirror. And the title, like, this is the first book, so like I forgot part of the title on there. It's supposed to say self-reflections, quotes that make you reflect, but that's dope because like it's an original.
Yeah.
So basically, just like we were saying with the mirror work, can you see now? Mm-hmm. And the clouds are beautiful, you know, purple's for royalty, and it's basically from my heart to your hands, and that's my name. So this book is has a lot of personal quotes in there, like things that have happened, experienced to me personally. This book is about love. And that flower, if you notice, it has a heart in there because love, there's hearts in there. So I had an illustrator do that, and there's hearts all over this. So this book is about love. It's not that many pages because, you know, it is what it is. This is my first book. I used like a mock of a thing because I just wanted to get it out. You know, I didn't think anything about it. I just wanted it out, and that's how simple it was. Yeah. And this book is I liked tapes, and I wanted to bring that back, and it's supposed to be like, you know, synonymous to like your vision board. Yeah. So, and that just says a part 4.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
They're all original. And
that's awesome.
So basically that's really what you do. And to copyright, you just go online and you register your work, and that's it. And when you register your work, you're actually going to the source. When you use a publisher, the publisher is just doing exactly what I did. Mm-hmm. But you're paying them, and then they take a cut of that. So you got to make sure that they actually publish it under your name, right? Because I think I met somebody who went through a publisher, but they have the rights to their work.
Oh, wow.
You have to be very careful. I was like, what? You could just do that? I was like, just hit me up. I'll tell you, it's so easy. And I would not have known this if I didn't have to copyright the rap artist. So regardless of the fact, it was sad that our relationship fizzled, but I took all of that knowledge and I was able to reuse it for the right purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So, to spread your message. Yeah.
You just don't know. All of these useless tools you think you have is actually for your good, but you have to recognize that it is for your good, and it can be for your good. Just don't need to know when. Just know that it's for your good.
Yeah. Yeah. Powerful. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Joy.
All over the place.
No, this has been great. Wow. I love your process. I also love the way that you're tackling things. And I think that really is how writers can improve their mindsets, you know, because sometimes they get bogged down by the what ifs or the overthinking. But the way that you put it, it's straightforward, and it feels just so like uplifting.
Yeah. You want before we go, you wanna
yeah, pick like a couple of random.
Book, and I will flip it open.
Let's see. I like the mixtape one, and then and your first one. So whichever from there you want to go for that. I would love to hear some.
All right, so here we go.
All right, let's do this. It's gonna be made for the audience.
I'll read both sides. If how they praise you is not how they treat you, the praise is not true. Remember, the power of the tongue needs to line up with actions. It's crazy. We were just talking about that. Yep. How much more living do you have to live before you realize life is a gift? And the reason why these are in large font is because my aunt, who, let me tell you, man, when she tells me that she loves me, I actually feel it. You know, a lot of people may say they love you, but to actually feel it. Anyway, long story short, she has very low vision, and I wanted to make sure she was able to read it. So that was like it was my thing, my personal thing for her, but also a lot of people who have reading glasses, they don't need them. And I'm like, you don't need a reading glasses. Like, yes, I do. And I'm like, when they open, they're like, oh, never mind.
I'm like, oh, let's put those aside.
Ooh, and I'll do 2 more from here. Moving forward, we need to move differently. Doesn't that line up with what we were just talking about? Like, if you change your mindset, you're going to have to move different.
Yeah.
You are the distance between your goals and accomplishing them.
Oh, that's a good. Oh man. Yo, I'm like, my brain right now.
Really?
Yeah, because I always feel like, you know, I mean, obviously I'm a writer, so I feel very like, you know, intuitive, you know, praise the Lord. I'm also in this, you know, just when the universe is talking to you, I feel like this is very like the universe is talking to not just me, but to the audience. You know what I'm saying? So that's great.
This is cool. New diet plan alert. Cut your spending in half.
That's for me. That was for me.
Okay. Telling lies are hard to do because the truth is always lurking around the corner.
That's a good one.
So basically, it makes no sense to lie because if people find out anyway.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, let's see what else we have. Ooh, yeah, there's always better. But why would you deserve better if you don't appreciate what you have now?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And the biggest con, believing beauty is only skin deep. A beating heart filled with love is breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Joy.
That's what y'all can look forward to.
So where can everyone find you and find your books? Because they're going to need some of this.
Yes, you can go to BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. All of these books are available on there. Again, my second book is only available on stocks. I did that because I didn't think they were hitting different after coming behind this book. But as I was putting those quotes on the side, I was like, oh, this is good. And I was like, oh, I think I should just like put it in paperback. But I've told so many people that I'm going to discontinue the book. And mind you, with my stocks, there's only 12 of any kind. And when they're sold out, they're never made again. So literally, there's different people across the world that have parts of my second book. And I'm so mad because even I only have parts of my second book on socks.
No, I had no idea.
I went to my socks a couple years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then you can follow me on every social media platform at B as in boy, T as in Tom, D as in dog, LLC. And I'll just put this up there just in case anybody's looking at the screen.
See the difference. BTD
Yep. And I say, do not think that just because you don't have a publisher that gives you the right to withhold your work for humanity. No, do it yourself. Yeah. You know, even if it's a little, you know, if it's not perfect, just do it yourself. There is no such thing as perfection, but there's beauty behind whatever you're gifted to give. So don't hold back. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I love that. There's beauty behind that. Thank you so much, Joy. I really appreciate it. That was Joy W., prolific author, quotes that make you say, thank you so much, Joy. We'd be happy to have you back again. And from the How to Write a Book podcast, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the How to Write a Book podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you want to keep up with me and my work, check out the website blackheartedstudios.com. That's www.blackheartedstudios.com. And follow me on Instagram at Mastiel Writes. That's at MASSIEL Writes. As a book coach and publisher, I'm passionate about helping aspiring authors bring their stories to life. So if you've been dreaming of writing a book and don't know where to start, head to my website and let's chat. You get a free 30 minutes on me. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.